Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm going to break down this recent Transformers trailer, which a lot of fans have been waiting for, and there's definitely a few glimpses of some more exciting things to come from this teaser. So, to start with, the trailer begins with, or it's bookended by this scene of Mirage as a Porsche, who is transporting one of the human characters called Noah, who is some kind of ex-military electronics expert in a cool way with his rucksack. And then we go straight into seeing Optimus Primal as this massive gorilla. Uh, and then he's sort of splashing water on what appears to be two young kids who look quite similar to the two kids in the Transformers Earthspark cartoon. So I remember when Transformers Animated was shown at the same time as the Transformers film, there were some reports that the internal marketing team weren't happy with the different looks. They may confuse them, and so they started changing a lot of things, and they started to make the Transformers animated characters look like the same colors or schemes as the Michael Bay Transformers. So here, this time they've learned from that, and they're kind of coordinated to kind of not confuse the audience, both kids and adults. So yeah, we can see that clearly here. And Optimus Primal is massive. I don't know if you watched the Beast Wars. This film, there's quite a lot of new characters introduced. I've watched a lot of the Transformers cartoons from G1 all the way to the recent War for Cybertron on Netflix. So I'm aware of all the various different characters. But if you're new to this, it could be quite confusing. So this new character, in the films anyway, Optimus Primal, it is like a transformer who turns into a massive gorilla. And what's interesting is that in Beast Wars, in season 3, when they actually finally cross and they meet Optimus, who is in this kind of damaged state from the arc where it crosses over into the G1 continuity. These bots, these new the Maximals, like the animal transformers, they're much smaller in size, but over the years they've kind of changed, and we saw like in Power of the Primes how Optimus Optimal, like a later next level transformation of Optimus Primal, was maybe even a bit bigger than Optimus Prime. And then in the War for Cybertron series, especially Kingdom, we see that they've kind of changed Optimus Primal's size to be a similar size to Optimus Prime and the rest of the Transformers, which I think, you know, I can understand why they've done that, but at the same time, I think the reasoning back then during Beast Wars was that these Maximals, they're like more advanced forms of Transformers in the way that, we used to have these old, massive, bulky PCs, and now we've got, this very new, slinky, streamlined, laptops now. So it's kind of like more advanced technology, but smaller in size. So it would have been more interesting, I think, to have gone with that. But either way, as long as the story's good, not not too fussed about that. But yeah, it would have been cool to see that kind of difference between them. But yeah, speaking of timelines, it'll be quite interesting to see what's going on in this film, because in the Beast Wars, like I said, the Maximals got transported all the way back in the past to when the G1 bots were, even though they are like the future descendants of the G1 bots. And I think Rat Trap mentions my auntie RC or something. So yeah, they come. It'll be interesting to see what the origin is or background of the Maximals are. Okay, so then we see Optimus with this inbuilt gun, which I don't really think we've seen before. Normally he's got like his cannons that Michael Bay had, or his ion blaster from G1, but here it seems inbuilt. So I guess they've just upgraded his technological capabilities by doing that. It looks kind of cool. It reminds me of a shot from Revenge of the Fallen where he's pointing the gun straight at the enemy. And then we switch over to a really cool scene on the bridge at night with Optimus speeding along as the Freightliner truck, that classic red and blue with the stripe across it, with the smokestacks. Yeah, beautiful shot. On my channel, I normally review diecast cars and trucks and all sorts. So for me, I love seeing the vehicles just as much as the robots. For me, they're just as cool. And then we see Bumblebee in the vehicle mode from the end of the last film, his own solo film, which kicked this off. So I think it's like a Chevrolet Camaro Z28. Yeah, in the 90s, I guess this would be a a vintage car already, which means from the last film to now, staying in this form means either he's been hiding and he's not like in the first Transformers film with Michael Bay. Bumblebee turned into like the latest Camaro, which like the concept one. When Shia LaBeouf's character sort of and Megan Fox's character sort of complained about why does it look like a piece of junk or whatever, but the fact that he's in this 71 Camaro state, which reveals that yeah, maybe Bumblebee's just been hiding away somewhere, or keeping safe. And then he transforms, and then we switch to the new character in the film, Mirage. Now, Mirage, a lot of people have commented that this Porsche 911, or internally Porsche 964, is Jazz's alt mode, and I'm not really sure why they picked this, whether it's a homage or yeah, I don't know why. Obviously, the alt mode of Mirage from G1, is it Ligia or Ligia, that race car, it's not street legal, if people have mentioned, and this this sports car is a pretty good alternative, but it's strange that they picked this, which is Jazz's form. Why don't they just pick Jazz? Because we've seen RC already in the rest of the trailer, and they've reused that. So why couldn't they just reuse Jazz? Anyway, so let's see what the film offers. And Mirage is voiced by Pete Davidson, and I think the character is going to be this young, kind of, growing up, kind of going through this rite of passage where he's a bit immature and he's got to learn how to be a bit more like serious or mature in what he's doing, and make some mistakes. So that'll be interesting to see, but also should be a funny character too. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, and then next we see off-road Bumblebee in the Camaro alongside massive Cheetor. Again, the size difference, I mean, it's just huge compared to the car. It's like these really are like, I guess, I don't know, maybe they're going for prehistoric beasts, when everything was upsized back in the day, millions of years ago. But yeah, we'll see. Again, we don't know the timeline of these Maximals. And then we see Air Razor shooting a sort of fire breath, almost like like a laser beam of fire that's just destroying a bridge. And on the bridge at the top, I don't know who that really tidgy small character is, but we'll probably see more of that later on. It could be Optimus running along. It's hard to tell at such a small size. And then we see Nightbird chasing Mirage in this really cool Nissan Skyline modded up by Pandem, a really cool garage that does all kinds of mods. There's a close-up of this on sort of the director's Instagram, and it's got this really cool kind of gold stripe pattern at the bottom. Okay, and then afterwards we see some rocks falling down, and then some Optimus being rolling down a hill, and then I think that's Air Razor landing on the road. I'm not sure. So she must be battling someone else. So if Nightbird is chasing Mirage, Optimus must be fighting, I don't know, I guess Scourge, because in the next shot we see of RC, we see a missile going towards her, and I think people have said that this Volkswagen Type 2 panel van is Wheeljack, which is quite a strange transformation from G1, and even the previous Bumblebee film, where the robot mode mimicked the G1 version, and the G1 version was, the vehicle was a Lancia Stratos, which is a really cool sports car. So they've gone for a bus. So it'll be interesting to see the robot mode, which I don't think we can see in this trailer, as I'll break down later on. So there's a missile going towards RC, and this missile is coming from, I think it's Battle Trap. So in this kind of like tow truck. But for RC, just going through her appearance, it's been kind of upgraded with the pink visor. But in Bumblebee, if you look closely at the frames, the area around the eyes was already pink, and I guess this is like an upgrade. And we've got some other different stylized features that I've changed too. So we've got a sort of different. It's more like a red really now, rather than a pink on the chest and the torso and the legs. I don't know how it will look in the final rendering, but I guess she's supposed to turn into a Ducati 916 motorcycle, and it'd be really cool to see that transformation. It's a shame that they didn't try and go for like a Cybertronian alt mode. That would be cool. I really like that vehicle from G1, but I guess they have to transform and fit in, I guess. So, yeah. Okay, and then we see Optimus coming out of some kind of pit. I don't know, those of you who are also DC fans, for me this reminds me of Apocalypse, which is Darkseid's planet. Like the fire pits. So yeah, and there's like fire all around here. So yeah, it looks like a pretty grim situation. And I think that big bot standing over him is Scourge. And then we see Bumblebee racing in to save Optimus. And then he just gets literally shanked through the chest. And then just held there, like hanging off it, while Scourge is looking, like a boss, very triumphant. I guess the CGI here is quite patchy and a bit rough, but again, that is something that will sort itself out as over the next 6 months to release. And I'm pretty sure this trailer, this was already formulated maybe a couple of months ago anyway, so maybe it's like 6 to 8 month lead time to really refine the CGI and do that blending to make it look more realistic. And here we see B with the kind of, the bee insect style mask. I don't think a mask has come as cool as, for me, I remember Transformers Age of Extinction, and I remember the kind of insect inspired mask they had there. That looks super cool, especially with the kind of rainbow reflection off it. So, but yeah, it's cool. And then we see it kind of zooms out, and sort of Bumblebee is being held aloft by Scourge, and I think in the background, on the right hand side of Optimus is Battle Trap. So then it switches to a nice scene. I think this is Peru. Correct me if I'm not in the comments below. And we see the backs of some of the robots. So yeah, we see Mirage, RC, the two kids, and I think that's Wheeljack. But I'll be really interested to see if does he have the blue glowing ears, because if he doesn't, I'm going to be let down by that. And it has a really unique look. From G1, and it's one of my favorites. But yeah, let's see how he looks in a later reveal in a future trailer, and I'll make my judgment then. But hey, I've always got G1, and even Transformers Prime to look at. So then it switches to like a carnival or a parade in Peru. And I think this is Cusco. I've been to Peru. I absolutely loved it. And if you're a Transformers fan after this film, pending, COVID and all that stuff, I'd definitely recommend a trip to Peru. And I've been to Machu Picchu. Great time. Really cool experience. And it was pretty cheap coming from the UK. Like the flight was probably the most expensive thing. Once you get there, the food is great, and they do really big portions, as I remember. So the other thing about Peru as well, it's got quite a lot of ancient culture, which I think ties into this film. I think if anyone's seen like Ancient Aliens and stuff, they always go on about how the walls in Peru, the way they're made, they're just like really the massive rocks that are used to make some of the architectural structures there have just been really finely cut. And there's quite a lot of amazing engineering up there. And Machu Picchu, as mentioned, is just it's just an amazing place to go to. So definitely recommend that. Okay, and then we switch over to our Rhinox appearance, and Rhinox looks very segmented, and he's got this kind of metallic tongue, which looks great. These really sharp teeth and this kind of flame thing inside it. We don't really see much else of that. And then, it shows as Optimus transforming again. And, those of, people don't like his face. Well, I guess we're just going to get his face. So you just have to get used to it. And then, it switches to these three kind of proto forms coming out of the sky and landing in the river of New York. I guess it'd be Hudson, and maybe that's at the beginning because there's three of them. So maybe they're the three Terracons making their first appearance at the beginning of the film. I think most of this trailer shows scenes that are generally at the beginning, or at most midway, and they're kind of saving the big end for the main trailer. So after that, again, we get another shot of Optimus really close up on his face. And, this reminds me a lot of Michael Bay's face. Not his face, his Optimus Prime's face. But this time I can see that, they've kind of changed the eyes to make them more expressive. I notice his eyes can get really big and really narrow when he's focusing on something. So they've really tried to think about how to make the character emote a lot more. And the cool faceplate shows up, which again is a very similar move to what we've seen in the Michael Bay films as well. And next then we come to this big battle where we see Battletrap, who's just rushing out. And it's in this sequence we can really glimpse what the other bots look like. So next to him, I think that's Waspinator because it's flying and the arms kind of look like, insect arms, and it's got these wings, but mainly the head sculpt of this. I can kind of see two eyes, alien insect combination, and for me, there's like a yellow stripe perhaps going down the leg area or the torso, abdomen area. So, that maybe could be Waspinator flying around. And there's these others really lanky looking robots or transformers around Battletrap. So maybe it could be Insecticons, who knows. But yeah, there's more than just the three Terracons that they're with. They've joined up with another faction. And whether that's Predacons, we'll have to just wait and see who. So after this, it could be Waspinator, it could be Nightbird, because I don't think we see Nightbird's look in this film. And if we do, it's extremely blurry. And then it kind of jumps into Cheetor alongside Optimus, which is a great shot, who then transforms midair, and we see the back of Cheetor coming through. And then we can also see Optimus's twin blades, which again, really similar and probably borrowed from Michael Bay's designs. It's really cool to see some melee weapons coming out, but no big axe, which is what I was hoping for. And then we see Optimus Primal also doing in the charge, and there's a little RC, and he's covering Wheeljack, so we can never really see Wheeljack's face, but we can just see an arm and a leg running and shooting and firing and stuff. And then we see Optimus Primal do another commando roll into the gorilla form, out of the gorilla form, and into robot mode. And we get to see the cool blades that he had in season 1 of Beast Wars. And this weapon also looks like it can transform itself into like a chain with different segments that he can swing over, and it can reform back into the twin-bladed weapon that he has. And then we see RC sort of firing at maybe Nightbird coming in from the side rather than just head on, but I guess we'll see that later on. After I slowed down the video, I was able to see Rhinox's robot mode and Cheetor's robot mode. They're quite dark in colour, unlike the original Beast Wars colours, which is a shame, because one of the issues with Michael Bay's, especially the Decepticons, were that they all kind of blended up in this kind of silver greyish mass, and colour is really important to distinguish the different characters very easily, especially when there are a lot of different characters, and then they're all fighting on the same battlefield and in the same scene. Colour is a very easy way to distinguish and identify each person or robot. I mean, it looks extremely exciting, and I can't wait to see what's going on. I mean, there's a good runtime. I hope all of the characters are done, fleshed out enough. There's a cool kid character here who provides some comedy humor when she sees RC, and RC is looking cool there. And then back to the Mirage scene. We get to see, Cheetor up close. We get to see Rhinox up close, and I think, but on the other, there was some marketing materials where I think there was like a kind of calendar or a wheel done in the style of an ancient culture, and on this wheel it had a lot of different Maximals and Predacons, and on there we can kind of see all the favourites if you watch Beast Wars. So it starts off with Primal, and then it goes to Pterosaur, and then Air Razor, and then that spider, so it could be Tarantulas or Black Arachnia, and then Rat Trap, who looks massive there, and underneath I think that is Beast Wars Megatron. And I've noticed that all of the Terracons, they've got this kind of pattern around them. So then we've got Rhinox, and then we've got Scorponok, and then Cheetor, and then I think that's Dinobot. So all of the Terracons have got this pattern around them, and they're kind of lower than the Maximals in this, if it's with this kind of texture that's been put on. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who, has a cameo. With too many characters, it can be very difficult to have enough time to focus on them. So maybe they'll just kind of set up for the third film, which will lead to an even bigger standoff. Still no sign of Megatron, whether that's G1 or Beast Wars Megatron. So I'll be looking out for that. That'd be cool. And some people have commented how, is this like a reboot, or is this a sort of soft continuity of Michael Bay? And, with the fact that Bumblebee looks like the vintage Camaro at the beginning of Transformers 1, and also the way that this G1 Prime is, I feel it's kind of slowly turning into Michael Bay's Optimus Prime, with the double twin blades coming out, and the way the facial structure is once the faceplate comes off. I think there's quite a lot of overlap there, and the biggest thing will be that Megatron at this point is in ice somewhere in Sector 7. So no Megatron means maybe there is a continuity. So yeah, we'll have to see later on what's going on. Here are a few collectibles I've got that are related to this film. Let me know in the comments below what you expected to see or what you like to see. For me, I think it's really cool that we've got Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime together. We've got like 90s fans, 80s fans, who will obviously come and see that. Then we've got like the latest Bumblebee as well, so we've got the latest tie-in with that. Wheeljack, I was hoping, I don't know what he's going to look like with that Volkswagen bus, but I hope he looks something similar to his original appearance. And then, what's interesting is that from the calendar that we see with the beasts on, I'm really hoping Rat Trap. He's really funny. I like his character. And we've got Dinobot, who's really cool, a really good foil for Optimus Primal. And then I think, got a Tigertron. And for me, Beast Wars Megatron. I don't know what they're planning for that. So I was hoping to see the Lancia Stratos. That would have been really cool to see, but sadly we won't be able to. That's not in this one. So it's really cool to see a big boxy Optimus Prime truck in the film. No Jazz, but we still get a cool Porsche, just not in this livery, which I think the Martini one is really cool. And no Beetle, is literally moved on from that. So maybe that was like a homage to like G1, but now, in this modern day and age and audience and stuff, they want a cool car, so they're just stuck with the Camaro, which is fair enough. So yeah, normally on my channel, sometimes I do reviews of things I'm interested in, like Transformers, but normally I review diecast cars, Transformers figures, and other small play figures. So yeah, subscribe if you're interested in those kind of toys, but I also do reviews too. So hopefully see you in the next video.